what you're about to watch anyway is an excerpt, 5 minutes of clips I've cut out of the first like 10 minutes of um, a 24-minute film, short film on domestic violence against men. I first watched it about a year ago. That was around November 2021. So I'm going to do a reaction to it now. Because I want you to make a very important point. Now, in addition to urging you to go and watch the full version, all right, I actually discuss this 5 minute excerpt I've done of it to explain why I believe the abusive wife that's portrayed in this movie is just one kind of abuser, and it's important to understand that there are different personality types, and so there are different kinds of abusers, and some of them abusers might not want to really waste time trying to see if you can help to get out of the problem. So I provide experience-based ideas about why what is called a narcissistically abusive wife, all right, especially the covert narcissist type, is much worse than the kind of woman that's portrayed in here, always apologizing, always admitting that she did wrong. You watch the video, and then this is just, like I said, excerpts, and then you listen to my full explanation at the end of it. Cheers.
Ever since I first laid my eyes on you, I've been in love, and I can't imagine spending the rest of my life without you. Tamika Sanders, when you married me.
Yes.
Then we could keep having disagreements.
Every marriage has arguments from time to time, baby. It's only been a year. Y'all still fresh.
Yeah, but it's happening more and more, almost every night. Starting to constant little fights.
You're not putting your hands on her, are you?
Oh, no, ain't nothing like that.
No marriage is perfect. I can attest to that. But you got to choose to stay and love her. That's what you really want. Hear me when I say choose. I don't know what's really going on, but whatever you do, don't be caught putting your hands on your woman. Because if the law gets involved, all they'll see is a black man hitting a defenseless woman.
Mom, I would never put my hand.
I believe you, son. But I want you to remember this. As a man in a marriage, sometimes you have to take more, put up with more to keep your wife, your family happy. I am proud of you, son. You have grown into an exceptional young
officer, but everything is fine. Y'all have a good night.
Okay, man. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Don't hesitate to call us if you need us.
Okay. I don't know why I got so angry.
Don't. Just let it go.
Baby, I didn't mean to hit you. I just lost my temper a little.
A little? Ridiculous, man.
The thought of you with another woman.
She's just a client. Told you that before. I'm not cheating on
I'm
you,
sorry,
nigga.
I know. I'm so embarrassed that the police showed me. It'll never happen again. I promise. I'm so sorry. I said I'm sorry, baby. So, now you don't love me because I made one mistake.
Tamika.
God, I'm sorry I'm not perfect, Trey. Is he gonna leave me now?
Tamika, you know I ain't going nowhere. I love you. Alright? I forgive you, okay? Just...
You are the best thing that ever happened to me in this world. It'll never happen again.
Man, I'm just gonna call Rodney and see if he knows what's going on with this thing.
What kind of a man calls another man to fix stuff at his own house? You're so useless. You can't do nothing.
Look, Tamika, I'm trying. I ain't no plumber.
Don't you ever raise your voice at me like that again. I'm sorry. Trent, I'm sorry. Where you going? I said I'm sorry.
Right, let me just quickly discuss here what happened between these two. You notice when the police came, how it was her they were speaking with. Now you know how they asked her if everything was okay and if she needed any help, get in touch with us, blah blah blah. And then she locks the door and comes in and is the one apologizing to the man. I just want to point out something to you. You can see how the conversation went. Clearly, it wasn't the first time it was happening. Clearly, she had apologized in the past, told him it will not happen again, and she had done it again. That was why when she was telling him, sorry, I'm sorry, I won't let it happen again, and touched him, he pulled away twice. Watch the technique she then uses. Oh, great. So you don't love me anymore. You're going to leave me now. That's how what they want to do. They use the element of guilt. They guilt you into giving up and not making them accountable for what they've done to you. They make you feel guilty for feeling a resentment toward them for what they did to you deliberately. So one of the tricks of the abuser is to manipulate you emotionally. All right, in this case, this kind of abuser, I want to just put a difference, help you highlight a difference for you between this kind of abuser and another kind of abuser that is quite common, which a lot of people are not sensitive to. You see, this lady did wrong to him. The police came. They were more concerned with her, clearly, because if they had seen this guy, they would have seen he was injured. I don't think they got to go into the house to see him. She assured them everything was okay. And for the woman to tell the outsider that everything is okay, people feel that she's a vulnerable one. She's the one potentially that should be the abused person. And if she's saying it's okay, there's no cause for alarm. Meanwhile, the reverse is the case. But they didn't know that. We are trying to do all these videos, this short film on men, and the work I'm doing as a men's rights advocate is designed to help society to wake up to the realization that there are abusive women and there are men who have been brought up and trained not to abuse women, as you heard his mother telling him, not to hit a woman even no matter what she does. And women who are abusive are exploiting that and using it to abuse those men. All right. So then, when she came into the house, she sat down with him and was apologizing. You saw the way he deflected he just refused to accept the apologies because clearly it wasn't the first time she was doing it. But she then manipulated him emotionally. So that's one thing I want to point out to you. This kind of woman who is willing to sit down despite being abusive and say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, I was upset, whatever, please forgive me, I won't do it again. That is one kind of abusive person. There's another kind you need to know. There are different kinds of personalities. There's what you call personality types. I need you to go onto the internet and use the Google engine to research personality types. It's important for you to find out what is called a narcissistically abusive person. In this case, a narcissistically abusive wife. That kind of wife will not behave the way this woman behaved. That's what I want you to listen to me and understand. You need to understand. Any man listening to me now, or if you are somebody who loves a man, who cares for a man, maybe it's your son, maybe it's your brother, maybe it's your father, maybe it's your uncle, and he's having a relationship problem, and the wife behaves the way I'm going to describe now, understand that wife is different from this kind of abusive woman. Listen, if she's the kind of woman that never says she's sorry when she's abusive to the point of injuring or not injuring, whether verbally, emotionally, psychologically, she's always making it his fault. Abusers generally do that, but the narcissistic abuser is relentless and very extreme. They have no remorse. So this one that is coming and saying she's sorry, narcissistically abusive people don't do that. It is never an option for them. They are never in a position where they are going to say sorry for anything. That's the kind of woman I had as a wife. That's the kind of woman that was my ex-partner. She was never wrong. She was never sorry. She never did wrong. Even when she poured hot water on me, it was never her fault. It was me. And definitely, she would never apologize. She was called up after a year of my reporting to the DSVRT and the Domestic and Sexual Violence Response Teams of it. They're now Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency. And this woman told them she will not apologize when they told her to apologize for pouring hot water on me. But another thing I want to point out is how very devious a narcissistically abusive person can be. So you see this woman in this full film. You're going to watch the full film, but not on my channel. This excerpt is all I'm going to give to you. Then there's a link in the description box. You can click on it, and you can watch the full film in the man's channel. But what I want to let you know is that throughout the movie, this lady did not manifest the behavior that is typical of a narcissistically abusive person. So the gaslighting was not as distinct as what you get with the kind of woman I was involved with, because like I said, in my case, everything that happened to me was my fault. In fact, many of the things that happened to me did not happen. That's the way it would. She would do it, and when I got evidence in terms of videos and pictures, this woman even stole my phone, ran out of the house. For 8 days I did not set eyes on her with my kids, and by the time she returned my phone to me, it was more or less damaged, but most important, the battery damage, but most importantly, all the recordings I did, all the photos I took had been deleted. That was the kind of person I was dealing with. This was a person that had the sense of the sense from having grown up in an abusive household. Clearly, she had rehearsed it. She had done it before she ever began to be with me. She knew what to do. She knew how to inflict abuse and cover it up and make you look guilty for it. I'm telling you, the things that were done to me, this was not the first time she was doing them. She had clearly been doing them before she ever met me. And she began to groom my children when she saw that I said I was no longer going to be with her and I was walking away, and she began to groom my children to attack me. So what I'm trying to tell you is this: there are different kinds of abusers. There are different kinds of personality types. You need to know the kind of personality type you are dealing with before you decide just how far you want to go to try and make the marriage work. That's my message here. I'm saying this man at this point here told the woman, I love you. He had gone to his mother, complained that the woman was misbehaving in a certain way. The mother had told him, you've got to make it work, because the mother thought they were dealing with a normal woman. I would even argue that this woman was more normal and very far from being a narcissistically abusive woman. So, but the young man was saying, okay, let me give it another shot. Let me try again. And then injury after injury, abuse after abuse was happening to him until the point where you watch in the movie, you see how it ended. I don't want to give you a spoiler, but what I'm trying to say is that he was dealing with a person that was willing to even admit she did what she did. I was dealing with a person that never once in 18 years admitted fault for anything she did to me, even though I never laid a finger on her. It was I started fighting back in around 2015, after I was reporting since 2009. I've been going around reporting to different organizations and individuals, going everywhere, talking to family. She wouldn't stop. Verbal, emotional, psychological, and physical abuse continued, off and on. I would try and mend fences with her, come back, she would start again at some point. All it took was only two things to trigger her, and she would start again. I'm saying that she was never once remorseful like this woman. So understand that there are different kinds of personalities. So if it turns out that the one you are dealing with is anything resembling the one I just described that I went through, please don't waste your time. Get out of that relationship immediately. Don't think twice about it. You see, the one that this guy was dealing with, the fact that she will come back and say, I'm sorry, I admit I was wrong, please forgive me, try to touch you, try to make it up to you, I think there's still a chance that you could even, maybe with therapy, with some therapy, maybe she would have changed. But the one I went through, the kind of woman I dealt with, those ones don't change. I know a man that's like her. Narcissistically abusive people never change. The narcissist is a damaged person. It's a mental disorder. And I'm telling you, if you meet such a person, all you have to do to know that that kind of person is the person you are relating with is the reaction after they've done it to you. They gaslight you into believing that it didn't even happen, or they will tell you if it happened, it was your fault. And they will always find a way to prove that it was your fault, including telling lies against you, including recruiting others to tell lies against you. People you don't know will be speaking about you and making claims about what you did and did not do. They will use your children against you. They will use your relatives against you. They will manipulate everybody. If you're not careful, you will be labeled the abuser at the hands of an abusive woman. That is the extent to which they go. You see, this kind of abusers, usually the woman in this movie is not like that. But the narcissistically abusive woman is like that. The narcissistically abusive man is like that. And it's important for the abused person to know that when you experience such a person that seems to be so skilled in the art of manipulating you and others to make herself look like the victim while you are the one being abused by her or him, man, you need to run away from such a person. So please understand, there are instances in abuse in relationships, in fights in relationships, where you can stay and think you want to make it work. There are times when you can see clearly that the signs show that it will never work. The one I described to you about my ex-partner, a person like that with a personality like that, run for your life before it's too late. If you have any questions, reach out to me using the contact details showing on your screen. I wish you well.